I'll take you for a ride on the devil's ship. I'll take you for a ride where you sink or swim. Now come with me and let this story begin.
Michael, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. It's awesome.
You're here for a big reason.
Oh, here we go.
Number one, we need to talk about your murder trial.
Okay.
Why, when, and where.
Okay. Never convicted, by the way.
Never convicted. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to say too much. No. People who don't know why you're here, like, what the fuck's going on? No, I want to know about crypto.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I want to know about crypto first and foremost. I want to know about crypto because I said something last week on a podcast on 2 Drink Minimum, and people were like, this isn't going to age well. I think me and Mike were saying, like, I don't know about this whole crypto thing. I feel like it's going to blow over. But I want to know from you, where do you see it going? And I heard that crypto, like Bitcoin, the regular Bitcoin,
right,
has been kind of stagnating for a while, ever since Elon Musk appeared on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, there seems to be, there's a price ceiling that it's hit. It hasn't been able to bash through its record high, which I believe was at $1,70,000 per Bitcoin. Per Bitcoin. Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it should always go up.
Yeah.
But why is it stagnating, sir?
Well, it's interesting. Well, one is that you have politics and compliance in the way. So what's happening right now is Bitcoin is decentralized. It's completely, it's off the charts compared to what we're used to, which is centralized, which is basically you go to a bank, you put your money into a bank account, use your Interact. It's very simple. You pay a certain amount of fees on a monthly basis. Like I'm
against all that.
Me too. That world is very simple to understand. When you go through a digital, a decentralized model, it's first of all, you have to have the adoption. You have to have stores accepting Bitcoin. You have to have the digital wallets. You have to have the understanding around the technology, and you have to battle through a couple of things like a horror stories where you lose all your Bitcoin because you sent it to the wrong address, right? So, or there's corruption, or there's money laundering with Bitcoin. So you have to stay away from it.
I lost a bit of Bitcoin.
You did? How?
Yeah, an old cell phone. My buddy, when Bitcoin was first starting.
Please don't tell me you had like a couple of Bitcoins.
No way, a couple of Bitcoins, because when it was first started, it was like a nerd thing. It still is a nerd thing, but it wasn't in the mainstream. It hadn't blown up yet. And my buddy was trying to show me what it was. Yeah. He's like, you download this. And then he sent me a couple of bucks at the time. Maybe it was like $50. Then I think if I had sold it now, it would have been maybe a couple hundred. It's nothing crazy. But still, I remember I had it on that phone. And then you forget about it. It's a digital wallet. I never bought stuff.
Yeah.
So then I got a new phone. And then 3 phones later, I was like, wait a second. While it was exploding, I was like, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. And then that phone was just reformatted. Like, it doesn't exist. There's no way I can get that money back. It's gone.
So you're not the guy that bought pizza with 10,000 Bitcoins.
No, you would have heard about my suicide.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good.
You would have heard about it. But it's so shit like that happens, and that's my other question. So let's say right now you and we invest in Bitcoin, I get some Bitcoins, I get it on my wallet, my phone, something happens.
Yeah.
So the phone blows up. I don't know. Am I fucked?
No, you're not. Not at all.
Explain.
So
it's what we need you to explain, because most people are imbeciles.
No, that's it. So you're holding a digital wallet. So think of it as an app. So there's multiple ways you can hold Bitcoin. You can hold it on an exchange like Coinbase or Binance or Kraken. Like you can basically hold it like as if you were holding stocks on a self-directed platform.
Okay.
Wealthsimple, one of the bank's brokerages, whatever. So Coinbase is an exchange. So you can hold Bitcoin on the exchange. So Bitcoin is there. So you have the app, the Coinbase app, and on that app, you can use it as a digital wallet as well. So you could buy and sell Bitcoin, but you can also transfer Bitcoin to other users. So what
are the fees like?
Fees range anywhere between 2% and 4% on purchases. But in terms of actually transferring it over to another person,
low?
A little bit lower. Yeah. Okay. I'm not exactly sure the percentage, but if you didn't go on a Coinbase and you just went peer to peer, so digital wallet, so your phone, my phone, and I transferred you money, we're talking about fees being like in the pennies, like very low and instant. That's
amazing.
That's also the settlement. So you think about it. So you have the exchanges where you can hold Bitcoin. You have digital wallets where you can basically hold it on a USB key. Now, if you lose the USB key, yes, chances like there's the element of you losing
all your money.
But you have backup features. Like with Ledger, there's a smart key that allows you to store your Bitcoin and basically be able to back it up. So there's that is
What
not.
can go wrong? What can go? Is it possible? Can the government step in and screw us over? Can I have $1 million in Bitcoin and then the government decides something and then I'm screwed? Is that possible? And what I mean by that is not if they decide not to acknowledge it. They already don't really acknowledge it. Is there something they can do to stop us from using Bitcoin right now, or no?
They can't, because it's decentralized, right? So it's basically
Unless they physically go in and stop you from using it, they can't do anything.
They can't they can't stop a transaction from happening. But what's happening now, I mean, and that's not necessarily a good thing, because that's going to slow down the adoption phase, because you have to think about it as you need to integrate, Bitcoin needs to integrate into a centralized world, like what we do on a day-to-day basis today. Otherwise, it's never going to work. Politicians are not going to back it up. Banks and institutions are not going to adopt it. And it's always going to be this weird, obnoxious thing that's hanging around. But if institutions believe in it and purchase Bitcoin,
for example, let's say you go to Best Buy online, you have the option to pay credit card, debit, or Bitcoin. That's what you mean.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So you're about to buy your PS5 or whatever, and you have the option of Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Bitcoin. Why not? Why not be able to do that? Now, the advantage for the merchant is the amount of fees that they're saving. Like, most people don't realize how much Visa and MasterCard charges these merchants. I mean, and if you're dealing with a low profit margin to begin with, like if you sell things that are on 6-7% and you're giving up 3% of that margin to Visa and MasterCard, like that's a lot of money for a small business owner, right?
I owed him $200 on a bill that I forgot to pay him. I gave it to him yesterday and it charged me $2.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I go, wait a second, but imagine I paid him everything separately. Because I had paid him everything, I forgot $200. I was like, imagine I had paid him 5 times separately. I'd be just continually paying all these fees for what? This is nonsense. It's a digital transaction.
The intermediaries between, and we grew up with that shit, right? Like we just know that, okay, so if I send you money, my bank has to verify that I have the funds. Your bank has to say, yeah, the funds arrived. And those two banks are charging us in order for us to conduct business with each other or just transfer funds to each other, right? So you remove the intermediaries out of the relationship, naturally those fees are going to go down. And that's what Bitcoin is. It's a programmable money that allows us to be able to remove the intermediaries and just deal one-on-one.
The trouble I have with it right now is thinking of the value. So I mean, for the most part, if you buy something and it costs $500, roughly that $500 worth the same within that month.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's not the same.
No.
You could send me $500 worth of Bitcoin because you bought something for me, and then that could turn, by the time I need to pull it out, into $10 or $1,000.
Right.
So I think that's where the weirdness comes in, because then let's say a Best Buy. They're like, well, shit, when we start counting our profits, we may have just sold $10,000 worth of items for $40 based on the value when we took it out. So I think that might also be another reason why it can't get adopted, because they can't justify.
Well, that's because it's still speculative, right? There's only, I think there's 400 million digital wallets out there. So there's billions of people on Earth so far, right?
That's what they tell me,
that's what I
haven't met most of them. That's what they tell me,
Friends through friends. But so there's not, the adoption phase is not there. So naturally the speculation is going to be there. And if you notice, Bitcoin is actually moving in the same direction of tech stocks. So that just gives you an idea that right now there's no appetite for risk, and Bitcoin falls in that category. So therefore the price is going to be very volatile. And is it a means of exchange today? It can be used as a means of exchange, but once the price becomes more solid and the volatility, the speculation is removed from the product itself, then you're going to see more of a means of exchange. Right now, it's storage of value. There's only so many coins. There's 21 million Bitcoins available.
Will there ever be more?
Never. That's the thing. That's what makes it attractive, is because you're buying something that, look, if I transfer a Bitcoin to you, I know now that I don't have that anymore, and the world knows that I don't have it anymore, and you have it, right? Whereas fiat money, you can counterfeit the money. You can print as much money as you want any point in time. If you get yourself into a situation, how many times do countries print an enormous amount of money and
all the time
pump it in the system, right?
Yeah, we live in one that destroys its economy by doing that.
There you go. So there you go. So,
wait, what about, this is a crazy scenario, richest person on the planet, doesn't have to be Musk, it could be someone else in the future, buys up all the Bitcoins, while everyone's using Bitcoin, then no one can buy and sell stuff?
That would be really expensive.
I'm just saying, there's a way to end this, and it doesn't sound good. Then no one has money. We turn into
well.
peasants?
Then you have to assume that the people that are holding it for how many years? They've been holding it for 10 years and plus.
I'm saying if it would be more centralized, people would use it. It would be so everyone's using Bitcoin now.
Yeah,
it becomes part of the ethos. It's in the zeitgeist. You just use your Bitcoin.
Yeah,
forget fiat currency, and then someone slowly takes them 10 years, buys them all up. Then how do we get more money to buy stuff?
If one person owns it all?
If one person owns it all.
That is a question that I've never been asked. That's a really interesting question.
Yeah, I break the internet on a daily basis.
You just broke the internet. Well, if someone was able to do that, it would take a long time to do that. And it would also take, every time the demand is high and the supply is low, because the supply is fixed. So yeah, you're basically buying, every time you're buying a block of Bitcoin, you're just buying higher blocks of Bitcoin.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be a rich dude with a lot of time on his hands, just wants to see the world burn. That would be kind of insane though, right?
That'd be kind of insane, yeah. If that was to happen. But again, you would have to get holders to sell.
Yeah.
And there's people that will never sell.
There are those types of people.
Those are the people.
But even if there's a couple of Bitcoins still running around, it's this guy just destroyed the economy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That'll make a good movie.
That's a good title.
Destroy the economy?
Yeah.
It's already destroyed. How did you get into all this? I know that you've started a podcast now with my buddy Phil's the one producing all that.
Yeah.
That's where I first heard of you. Mm-hmm. And I like the way you just present stuff quickly. You joke around. You tell them, look, this is what's going on right now. Listen, nerds.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. Let me explain to you. I like that.
Nice.
How did you get into all this?
Well, the first thing that that motivated me was the fact that in my industry, there was a study that was done by advocates, and you can look it up. Most people are not going to look it up, but whatever. There was a study that analyzed the age of advisors, and there was about 2,000 advisors that were studied, and most of these advisors were 55 years of age or older. And that means that the industry that I'm in, the advice channel, is aging. So the younger investors that are coming in, what do they want? They want to be able to make their own investment decisions. They want it quick. They want it easy. They want it on their phone. Whereas the older generation wants advice, wants to come to an office, get that experience.
But they need younger people.
But the problem is there's not enough younger people coming into the business.
Yeah, my old advisor told me to buy some VCRs. I don't trust them.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Thing of the past, yeah.
So you got 2,000 advisors. Half of them are over 55 years of age. I would bet that most of those, and this is like a pure bet because I don't have any scientific data on this, but most of them are not comfortable with technology. Because the interactions that I have with my clients that are near retirement or retired, you mentioned Bitcoin or you mention anything artificial intelligence, they're not interested. Like they just think it's like, no, that's just too crazy for me.
It's too sci-fi.
It's too sci-fi for me. Like I don't want to lose money. I just want a certain type of lifestyle. That's it. So advisors are no different. I mean, whether you're a client or your advisor. So from a technology-based knowledge. So anyway, so I got into it and I said to myself, I'm like, man, what happens if we were just to go out there and just try to simplify this whole technology, take the weirdness out of artificial intelligence, blockchain, Bitcoin, and all that stuff. What happens if we just dumb it down, but not too dumbed down where it's to a point where people that know this stuff don't want to listen to it either? Like, where's the happy medium between that? And so we started Threeconomics, and we said, okay, let's start putting out some content and seeing what's going to happen. And the results from a variety of people were like, wow, man, this is really cool.
I didn't understand before. Thank you for explaining it.
Yeah, that's it. And you don't have to go super complex. That's just the thing, is that I don't need to like impress myself and say, oh wow, look at all these technical terms I'm using.
I just want to understand.
Jargon. Yeah, people just want to understand, right? And so that's the whole. Every time we put out a video, I ask myself, is the message being delivered? Like, if you want to know about blockchain, does this video do it for you? And that's what. So every time we put out a video, we try to simplify the artificial intelligence. We try to simplify quantum computing. All these buzzwords that are actually developing into really interesting ideas, especially from an investment perspective.
So some of this, though, I don't think is a sound investment. For example, the NFT situation.
Yeah.
How many photos of cartoon monkeys smoking cigars does one man need? Right? Like, this has to tank at some point. People are spending millions of dollars on cartoon monkeys with baseball caps.
Yeah,
it's a bit much.
It makes the whole thing look really shitty. For sure.
That's like one of those things where in a year people are like, what the fuck? I'm not going to buy that shit. It's like, oh, but I already paid $1 million for it. I got to sell it. I'm not buying it.
But the crazy thing is no one's putting a gun to their head and saying, buy that monkey for 100 ETHs, right? So it's like...
If you want, we can get together and split it 50-50 on NFT. I'll get that monkey with a cigar and we'll make a nice little NFT if you want. We'll give him some money too. You down for that shit? Aposaurus, you good?
We're going on OpenSea, buddy. You got 3 days.
Let's see if we can make some money. What do you think?
Yeah, why not?
I saw a 14-year-old make $1 million last week.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I know, and that's what keeps people away from investing in the idea of blockchain, NFTs, metaverse, and all that stuff is because there's too many crazy situations of millionaires showing up overnight, right? Like, but the actual concept.
Why don't we take advantage of that?
You can, yeah, for sure. Well, you want to do it like...
Let's milk it. You know what I want to do, but I couldn't do because crypto.com, they kept like delaying me. I had a podcast that I did about a year ago. It's in French. It's my French cast. Very popular podcast in Quebec. And I had Hélène Boudreau, the girl from UQAM, the one that showed her tits.
Oh, yeah.
So she came on the show and she showed us her tits 3 times. But obviously for YouTube, I had to censor it.
Yeah.
But I just put her online avatar, her tag at her thing over it so that people could follow her at least. And then I was speaking with her. She's like, fuck, why don't we make an NFT out of that? And I was like, shit, it could be a podcast NFT, the full uncensored version.
Yeah.
And I'll put it up for sale. And I want to do that. I was going to split the winnings with her, but crypto.com kept fucking me over. They kept like doing the runaround. Oh, do this, fill this out. And I have an account. I even bought stuff with them, but I still can't upload the goddamn, they make it so complicated. That's an idea, bro. First ever NFT. There's NFT podcast. There's tits on there. I think there's money there.
I think...
Oh, sorry, Poseidon, have you muted? What's up?
Did you try OpenSea?
Nah, I like swimming, but I haven't. No, I don't know any of that shit.
Yeah.
That's why I need someone who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah. But look, if you can become a millionaire in a day or two, it can go the other way as well. So that's the thing is that...
How do you lose millions in a day if you don't put it in?
Well, look, if you've taken it off the table and you've diversified it, then the chances of you going bust is a lot lower. But
here's what I want to do: we create some NFTs, all kinds of different ones.
Yeah,
we sell them, and then right away we change them for actual money.
There you go.
That's what we're doing.
Okay,
we'll talk after the show.
Yeah, for sure. I'm ready.
We're gonna make $1 million off nonsense.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to pay the tit lady too, but it's just the way it goes, bro.
Yeah.
Share the wealth.
Yeah, that's it. No. She's a major contributor in this.
Huge
thing,
contributor.
Right?
Yeah.
So
the tit lady, as if other women don't have tits.
I mean, in this context,
I know.
the last woman with breasts on the planet.
Well, the way things are going.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say that anymore. Yeah, you're not allowed to say that. You're like, women have breasts. No, they don't. Some of them have penises. Yeah. Everything's changed, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's moving too fast. We're going to NFT someone's discarded penis. That's what we're going to do.
That's it.
So, okay. So then you got in. You're like, you know what? Let me try to dumb it down. Let me show people what's what.
Yeah.
And try to help out that. But you yourself, the more you looked into it, did you start diversifying your investments? You're like, wait a second. The more I look into it, the more this seems enticing. Or were you like, maybe I got to back off a bit with the digital stuff? Like, how did you feel? Because now you took a more deep dive into everything.
Well, that's a good question. Actually, I was already doing the research behind the scenes for what I do on a day-to-day basis. So I just didn't know how to add an entertainment flair to it. So my research is very boring shit, right? Like if I'm learning about the metaverse and I'm looking at multiple sources, or I'm looking at Web 3.0 that's up and coming, I'm already doing that research to see where the next trend is. That's just the style of investment advisor I am, where I invest in hopefully in the trend before it becomes a trend. So what I did is, because I'm already doing the research, I said, you know what, let's just take this information and let's see if we can do something with it. So I met with Phil and he says, yeah, we can do this. We can have a podcast. We can put out some videos, write some blogs, whatever. We can really just make it into something out of nothing. And that's where it happened. So the inspiration was the fact that most people are intimidated by technology. That was one. And the second one was that I'm already doing the research. Why don't I just add some flair to it? And I think that's been a really interesting opportunity for like just, I don't know, just to build an audience, build a community of people that have the same interests that I do. And then so because I'm so passionate about this stuff, the people that are listening to my stuff, they're equally passionate, right? Like, why are you going to waste 5-6 minutes of your life to watch just another video on YouTube? They're watching it because
they're going to learn something.
They're going to learn something, and they're part of a community that have the same shared interests. So,
do you think it's possible that we get an announcement that the government is slowly going to start kind of relaxing and integrating Bitcoin more? Because I feel like they're so scared, they're just going to come up with a different, digital currency. Everything's technically digital now, but they're going to try to trick people into thinking this is the same thing.
Programmable money, but as a Canadian dollar, right?
But then it's not the same thing if it's because we already have the Canadian dollar in digital form. It's every time you make digital payments,
interact and all that stuff.
So
exactly.
I feel like they're going to try to pull a fast one on the majority of people.
Yeah.
Why would I invest in Bitcoin? I got the bit loony, something like that. Yeah.
Well, and there's rumors that because it's programmable, you can apply any type of rules based to it, right? So you don't pay your taxes. Well, guess what? You're in trouble. You're on the other side. Registration for your car might be a lot easier because it's all on smart contracts. It's all connected on the blockchain. It's all like you don't have to worry. Like there's pros and cons to everything.
I don't want them all up in my business.
That's it. So I think there's many people that share your views on that. So I don't think that the government would create a digital version currency of the Canadian dollar, knowing that they would have more control than what they already have. I think they would do it for simplicity and for participating in, being a country that's innovative. And
I don't trust them.
Well, trust comes over time, right? So they're going to have to. Technology could be an enabler. It could be controlling. It can be used for good. It could be used for bad. So
they've already used technology for bad this past year. Like the second they started freezing people's bank accounts that were protesting,
that was bad.
That's when a lot of people who were in the middle said, "Oh, whoa, they might have a little bit too much power."
Yeah.
Because if in a free country, if I protest, you tell me, "Oh, that's fine. Of course you're allowed to protest," but now you're not allowed to buy or sell anything.
Right.
That's crazy.
But check this out. All of a sudden, Bitcoin, which was before, don't talk to me about that shit. All of a sudden, now Bitcoin's interesting, right?
Yeah, because they don't control it. And the more people that can accept it, then the more you have a different avenue. So even if the government decides to block people, you're like, yeah, my life is still going.
No, exactly. That's it. But for that to happen, you used Best Buy as an example. Best Buy needs to accept Bitcoin. Starbucks needs to accept Bitcoin. So in order for it to be a means of exchange, everything has to be it has to be everyone has to be on the same page. So
what's the over-under on that actually happening? I don't think it's likely.
Oh no, it's definitely happening. So you
think like a Best Buy, they'll go against the government, be like, no, we accept Bitcoin now?
Oh yeah, I think everybody will. I think that's my opinion. I think everybody is. So you think about Bitcoin and the Lightning Network, which is just a fancy way of just saying that it's a payment rail. So imagine. So basically, I want to send you money. I'm using Interact to send you money right now. Yeah. So that Interact is the payment rail. So basically, I put money on a rail and I send it over to you electronically. You get it on your phone. Well, Bitcoin is the same concept. It's a rail, and you can build on top of that. So what happens is companies that are out there that want to create kind of the next Visa, the next MasterCard, they're going to use the Lightning Network, which is the payment rail, and they're going to build on top of that. And whoever has the best application and best user experience will win the business. That's different now. Right now, it's you have no choice. You have to work with a Canadian bank. You have to you're limited to the options of what you can use. And as a small business owner, you have to accept a Visa, MasterCard. You could say no to American Express because it's a little bit more expensive. Whatever.
Everyone says no to my American Express. I don't even know why I have it. Never been able to use it. I just pay every year for nothing.
Right. But though it's very different now. Instead of having Visa control the market or MasterCard control the market, you're going to have all these players that are building on top of the Bitcoin network to create the best experience for the users. And who's going to get on that? Everybody's going to get on that. Why? Because they're going to save on fees. They're going to be able to have instant settlement. It's all going to be verifiable on the blockchain. So all the transactions are there. Yeah. So when you reduce your expenses and you keep your revenues at the same, what are you doing? You're making
more money.
You're putting money in everybody's pocket, right? So,
this is nice.
Yeah. So it's a bit, you got to think of Bitcoin as a payment rail. It's not anything like, you're not building applications for, I don't know, like the stock market or smart cities or anything like that. Bitcoin is really just a means of exchange and a Bitcoin payment. It's just programmable money. It's not like.
Again, the big question is, what do they mean by programmable? That's what everybody always asks me, because it was programmable money. What do they mean by can I program my money? And then I just want out of the conversation because I'm not gonna.
You zone out, right? Like, and it's because it's so far fetched, right? Like, but if you can understand the concept of saving money and be able to settle your transaction with the person you're trying to settle instantly,
as opposed to having a middleman.
Exactly. And how is that itself is very attractive, even if it sounds far fetched today. The idea of being able to do that, eventually, you have to think, eventually it's going to catch on.
Has anyone spoken to you about the metaverse?
Yes, I thought we were in the metaverse right now. Okay.
How do you feel about the metaverse?
How do I feel about it? Yeah. I think I love it. Without even being in it right now, I love it. Why not? Why not? I mean, look, if I'm going to meet with my client, as an example, they can come to the office. Yeah. I can give them a coffee. I can give them an experience, whatever. But at the end of the day, they're coming to see me for advice. So whether I give that advice face to face, or if I give that advice through the metaverse, at the end, if they want advice, they're getting it. But
there's a difference between getting advice from you in person, a man, or digitally an avatar of a raccoon. It feels like it's a different set of. Yeah,
but the metaverse that I'm talking about would be almost looking at each other how we are right now,
like Unreal Engine 5 type of shit. Like Star Wars. Oh, like Star Wars. What do you want, Poseidon?
Like Star Wars.
Kind of like Star Wars.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like a hologram type of scenario.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're immersed in the reality of where you are. So the only difference between you and I being able to connect on that level is your level of comprehension. If you're like, fuck this, I'm not buying this $5,000 machine just so I can see you when you're down the fucking street, right?
Well, again, this is, I'm a guy who plays video games his whole life. I worked in video games most of my life.
Okay.
What do you mean? You mean like with a VR headset, or because that ruins it for me. I don't want to be the meat suit. You know what I mean? I don't want to just sit down, put the headset, and I live my life vicariously via my avatar. I'm scared of that.
Yeah. That's a personal choice, right? As the technology evolves, maybe your choice might change over time, right? So, but right now the technology is already there. Video games, if you're big on video games, you know that like Fortnite, or Roblox, I don't
know what Roblox is. I just heard that Kim Kardashian's son saw an image of her blowing Ray J on it.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a cool game. But Poseidon, if you want to bring up my Twitter feed, look, a couple of days ago, I posted an image because I'm a big Pro Evolution Soccer guy. I love that game. They made a new one called eFootball that came out last year. It was the lowest ranked game in history because they flopped the release. They went on Unreal Engine. They did all this stuff, but the game sucked. It came out. It was broken. Finally, they released an update. The game's playable now. It's supposed to be free to play, but you can purchase different. It's no longer you pay for the game. Now it's free. You play online. You could buy stuff if you want, buy players. But if you want all the offline modes, you could piecemeal it. So you pay $20. It'll come out in a couple of months, and you'll be able to play the career mode or whatever. But the thing is, because it's constantly getting updated, it's a whole different concept of the way sports games used to be, which was you buy it that year, you get what you get. Now it's constantly getting fixed. So the game now, if you keep scrolling down, you'll find it, looks insane. Like if you see the graphics, look at that. Okay, so that's how it used to be back in the day. Yeah. That's how it looks now on the bottom. So sometimes it's indistinguishable if you're looking quickly from real life.
Exactly.
I want to bring this up on another tab so people don't see my Twitter.
Okay. It's crazy what's going on. It's crazy what's going on with games. I remember playing that version of the game years ago when I was young. And it wasn't even that long ago. Let's say that's 2004, 2005. And then that's last week. Look at how that looks. Look at the shirts. Yeah. Look at the bending. Look, it's crazy.
But dude, you're in the game now.
Yeah, this is absurd. I love it.
So this is the metaverse, right?
But I like playing it. I like the distance of having a remote in my hand. I play it, and then I can get up and leave. I don't like the idea of fully going into it and then living my actual life.
Right. Yeah. But from from a work perspective, let's say, like if you're collaborating, if you're a company, a global company, you have offices all over the world and you need to collaborate with teams in certain parts of the world, if you're able to collaborate on the metaverse and be able to do your job a lot more efficiently, that's attractive. And that's what you're starting to see. You're seeing Microsoft get into the metaverse. Facebook is already there. Well, Meta now is already there.
What's Facebook doing right now? What can I do? I'm a Facebook user.
Yeah.
How can I experience the metaverse, and what will I experience through Facebook?
Well, you'll need to buy their first of all, their headset.
The Oculus?
The Oculus headset.
We got one of those.
All right.
We got 2 of those.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Next show we're doing it on the headset. Okay?
I've used it and I hate it.
Yeah.
It's collecting dust. It was given to us. I think he uses his. Mine was given to me as a gift by my friend, comedian Mike Ward. And I used it a bit in the beginning. And I was like, fuck this shit.
What did you not like about it?
It just feels stupid. Yeah.
Is it heavy?
I worked in VR for years. And I'm never a big fan. I was sitting there, I was using it. I go, this is all stuff I could do without the headset. There's no reason for me to be in VR right now.
Okay.
There was no experience that was suited specifically. Oh, the only way to experience this is through VR. None of that felt that way.
Right.
It all felt like a gimmick.
Yeah.
I hate that.
No, for sure. Well, look how far.
That's what I'm saying. What can I do that's specific to the metaverse that if I put the headset on, I'm like, okay, I can only experience this like this. You know?
Well, video games is probably going to be your first noticeable difference, and being in the game instead of playing the game, like that'll be a huge difference. Imagine you're playing a zombie game and you have the headset and like it scares the shit out of you, right? Like you can't get that experience from just looking at a TV one-on-one with a remote in your hand.
That's true too. That's a good point.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's like case in point where things could be improved, and the areas that can't be improved, well, they'll just stay as is because they're already at a level where people are happy with it. But from a metaverse perspective, there's definitely companies that are in the productivity, like Microsoft. They're building it out. They see it as a future. Meta is spending $10 billion to basically build the metaverse completely in an immersed world. Well, yeah, does it look cartoonish right now? Totally. But it's going to change for sure. The technology is going to get better and better, just like, what was it, the iPhone? What was the first iPhone that came out? What was it called?
The fat one?
The iPhone 3, right. Right. Look at the iPhone now.
Yeah, the iPhone now is something special.
Right. So it's
I'm a Google Pixel man myself.
That's why they said 10 years. Pixel? Okay, interesting. That's why Meta said it's going to take 10 years for this whole thing to really be built out. And you're going to see the difference. I mean, if you look at it now, you're going to say, fuck this. It's never going to get any traction. 10 years from today. And
I believe it will. I believe it is the future.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. Mm-hmm. I'm an old man yelling at a cloud.
Oh, for sure. And you're not alone. You're definitely not alone.
I embrace change. I like I use a lot of technology. Obviously, it's podcasting, right? So I take advantage of where I can. It's just there's something about moving nearly fully digital and leaving this physical plane behind that rubs me the wrong way. I think about it, I go, aren't we losing our humanity if we do that? Like, remember that movie Surrogates with Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
Wasn't that good of a movie, but the concept was excellent. And that's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah, it's becoming less personal.
Especially now that people even work from home.
Yeah.
Like, so everything's becoming digital. Who they are is whoever they are in that digital avatar.
Right.
So, like, I perform live, so people will see me in real life. But there's other people, all they do is digital. So all that exists is whatever they put out there. It's just they don't have like a hour-long podcast so that people could, okay, I know who they are. I get it. They don't have that.
Yeah.
They just have photos, small posts, little sketches they put. So they create the reality around them.
Totally.
And that's going to be the future for everyone moving forward like this. Forget being a star. It's more of the real you will never come out.
Yeah. If you were born in the year 2000, your whole life has been on a device.
Yeah, they don't know what my nephews don't understand when I tell them the difference of how it used to be and how it is now. Like, that's stupid. That doesn't make sense.
No, for sure. But if you get it right from an investment perspective on the metaverse.
What should we be investing in now?
Well, I can't give any investment advice.
Not advice, but let's say two dudes talking.
Yeah.
That looks like a good investment.
Well, look, for me, I think Meta is taking a chance, but I think that
I'll give you my advice after.
They're giving, okay, perfect. We'll exchange advice. Yeah. I think Meta is doing the right thing by being transparent with shareholders, with the public, and saying, look, we're doing something fucking crazy right now. There's a lot of backlash. I know that I know the metaverse may not make sense to a lot of people, but it is the future, and here's why we're doing it. Meta has billions of users, so if they're going to pull it off, they're the ones that are going to do it first, right? Microsoft is also, I mean, big tech right there has a huge advantage. So if you kind of, you know, if you want to hedge your bet and you say, okay, listen, I'm not really sure about the metaverse, don't go fucking buy some small company that could go bust any minute. Like if you're on the fence and you want to take a shot at it, maybe you can consider like a Microsoft or a Meta that's already announced that they're making a push for it.
Or a lithium mine.
Or a lithium mine.
This is where I'm going. This is where my investment brain goes.
Do tell, yeah.
All this stuff requires tech, physical tech, to run this fictitious digital world.
Yep.
So go where the tech is, or else it can't exist. Microchips, mines, batteries. Anyone, if you see people creating innovative new batteries that actually last long, because for some reason we evolved in everything except for batteries. Batteries are gigantic still, and they don't last that long.
You're so right, exactly.
The second you hit that, bam, you invest there, because that's the future. Battery and memory, I think, is the future. Memory, because everything's running on digital right now. Right. So you need memory.
But everything was running on oil, and
but oil, you still need oil. Oil is a good investment depending on the time of the year. However, that's the thing of the past, because we've gone to a point where we don't need oil. We're developing technologies to circumvent that. But memory, everything's digital, everything's saved. Yeah. Memory is the only thing we need.
Right.
That's it. That's what you need to run everything now, is a lot of memory, you know, like SSDs, RAM, all that stuff. So that's what people should be investing in.
Okay, so take that point. Let's say that you have to use this thing. So, right, like you can't avoid it. It needs to be part. The problem with that kind of business model is that you're going to have 15 different competitors that are like blowing each other out of the water.
That's why you gotta invest in the mines. You gotta invest in the young African hands that are getting this shit out of the ground. Go to the source.
Yeah. Okay, how do you invest in stuff like that?
I'll give you some names. I got to look back, but I found a good mine in Africa. Okay. That was they supply different companies.
Okay.
And during the pandemic, like in the beginning, everything had shut down, so a lot of smart people bought this shit up on the cheap. I'm not one of them. I'm an imbecile. I found out later. I was like, oh, fuck, that's such a good idea. Because I didn't realize. I was like, wait a second. What do they mean by memory? You just get, just buy drives. And then I realized, wait a second. All this stuff is limited. Right. The properties to build that is limited. People are just squeezing all the resources to make microchips. And I started thinking, wait, oh, fuck, that is smart. Why would I invest in a company when I could just invest in the mine that's going to supply all the companies?
Yeah.
It was too late, though.
It was too late.
Shut up. Yeah. Now I need a real big boy money to invest in that shit. But I'm advice, because if it crashes again, go to the source.
Yeah.
Go to the source, because there's going to be another Facebook one day. There's going to be another Twitter. Like, there's going to be social, but there's not going to be another internet, let's say. The internet is there. If you could invest in the internet, which we can't, just like a stock called the internet, that would be a smart thing, because everything runs on the internet. It's not going to blow over like stores here thought in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I remember dealing with people like that. I go, you need a website. Like, what is that? I was like, you got to be on the internet. And they're like, the internet?
Exactly.
That's just going to blow over.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, bro. I don't think it's going to blow over.
The internet was fucking weird as shit when it first came out. Remember the @ sign for email? What?
Everything was weird.
Right. Everything was weird.
It looked goofy.
Right. Exactly. And look at us now. We can't even live without it.
Like, everything's on my phone.
Exactly.
I do everything. Emails, banking.
It's like breathing. It's just part of your life. You don't look at it. You don't look at your phone has more juice and power than like the supercomputer back in the late 90s. Like, you carry something that is so advanced compared to what was available to the richest person in the world 12, 15 years ago.
And you use it to send dick pics.
Exactly.
History will not be kind to us.
Yeah, there you go.
They're going to look back and be like, what are these idiots doing? They had all that power in their hands.
Yeah.
And they're like, look, I'm going to take a panoramic shot of my dick and send it over to her. We're so dumb. We really are monkeys with tech. That's what we are.
We got all this power. What do you want to do first? Dick pic.
Yeah, isn't it funny that we have all this power and we're like, I don't know how to handle it. Let me leave a negative comment on that video.
Yeah.
Fuck you, bro. Like, we're so stupid. That's going to be our undoing, I think.
Yeah.
Is how dumb we are.
Good point. I agree.
Because what if all the smart people go away? I don't know how this shit works.
Yeah. Well, the smart people.
I use it. I can't build it.
No.
I admit this.
No, we're users.
Yeah.
If you asked me to put a gun to my head and said, put this phone back together, take it apart and then put it back together.
I'd be like, just shoot me in the head, bro.
Just shoot me in the face, please. Yeah.
Well, maybe take it apart, put it back together, we could do, because I see where they fit. But if they would just be like, all right, we'll give you all the equipment, build us a phone, I'd be like, yeah, just kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no idea what's going on.
That's it.
I'll touch the screen for you. But I love the way technology evolves. I'm just scared that we lose that humanity in the process.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy. We lose our humanity easy. Look at war. The second we develop better weapons, we're like, let's just bomb people.
Yeah.
Like we're very quick to lose our humanity.
Maybe we lost it already.
We're pieces of shit. So what's up, Poseidon?
No, sorry, it's not the right. Sorry.
It's not the right time?
Yeah. I was gonna say, speaking of technology, I'm just gonna say it. The U.S. Navy shot down a drone for the first time with a laser beam.
That's something. I mean, I guess it's relatable.
Yeah.
There you go.
What was the drone like taking photos of
No, I think
Instagram models?
It was a test.
Oh. With a laser.
Yep.
Well, you know why that's not impressive? Because China's been doing that for years. Yeah, China's been doing that for years. China has a spot where, it might have been Phil who told me. There's a guy that we know. There's a guy who went down there, photographer, I think, and they said there's no drones allowed. And he's like, yeah, don't worry. What are they going to do with my fucking drone? So there's a spot where you're not allowed to put drones. So he flew his drone over, and then at one point, it just drops. And it was like a $3,000 drone. He's like, what the fuck happened to my drone?
Exactly.
Yeah, and it was because the military lasered it down. They're like, no, just fucking take that shit down. They didn't shoot it. There was no gunshot, nothing.
Yeah, that's
just
it.
Boom, you're down.
Exactly. Well, there you go. Hacking. You could be sitting in your basement and you can take down a power grid if you want. Like if you're that freaking you don't need a bullet. You don't need a missile to be lethal anymore. You can just, if you have an internet connection, you can be pretty powerful too.
What about China?
What's that?
There are 1 billion people.
Yeah.
Let's say we all switch to Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. Is there enough Bitcoin? Again, I'm going back to the same stuff. If everyone's using it, because now we're talking about 7 billion people.
Yeah.
There are not 7 billion Bitcoins.
But you can carve up Bitcoin into like pieces. So
right, but everybody, like if I tell you you're gonna make $100,000 a year, and then I go, there's 8 more people, we gotta split that. Or are you gonna make $10,000 a year? Now you're like, wait a second, I can't live off $10,000 a year.
No, but I mean like if you're gonna pay for something, like you don't necessarily like there's 21 million Bitcoins available. That's the circulation, no more, no less. But if you want to pay for this water bottle, you can do it with a fraction of a Bitcoin. Like
right.
you could break it down. You don't need necessarily more Bitcoins to be able to pay for the water. But that's what fiat is. That's what over the years, if you think about it, our salaries basically have been doing this, but housing prices have been doing this, right? So things have been getting more expensive, but the dollar has not been, the value of that dollar has not been maintaining its value.
Not at all. The dollar is useless.
But why do you think that is? Because you have that button where you can print any more money whenever you need it. So the more money that's in the system,
you know anything about housing? You know anything about the inflation?
Do I know anything about inflation?
And what's going on right now with our housing market? Are you well versed in that?
In real estate? Well, I mean, I have an idea, but nothing professional. I'm not I don't study the real estate market.
Let me run a theory by you.
Throw it at me.
So people have been telling me, hold up, don't invest in real estate yet because it jacked up too much, right?
Yeah.
So like a $600,000 house right now is going for over $1 million.
Yeah.
So don't do it. You're going to lose all your money, which I understand. And then interest rates are going to adjust. But then I started thinking, well, if the people that bought those houses overpriced, the people that bought a $600,000 house for $1 million, the interest rates change and they don't fold, they keep it. Why would they ever sell the house for less than $1 million? It's never going to go back down to what it should be. It's always going to go up. The only way it could go down is if people lose the homes. But since they're not losing the home, what would entice them to sell at a loss? You feel me, dog?
Yeah, I feel you. Well, if they have a mortgage on it and they can't afford it because they lost their job.
But that's the only way. That's why if they lose the home. But if they're not losing, if they're like, I'm still managing, they're never going to sell for under what they bought it for. So it's always going to keep going up. Why would I sell something for less than what it doesn't make any sense?
Yeah, exactly. So you buy a house at $1 million,
even though it's worth 600.
The market says, "Fuck you, you're worth 600."
Yeah,
right.
But you're like, no, we all paid this much. That's what they did now. That's what they did last year.
I'm just gonna wait it out, right?
Yeah. And if somebody wants to buy a house, well, look, all these $600,000 houses are being sold for $1 million. I'm not gonna sell mine for less than $1 million.
Yeah. So in that scenario, what you've done is you've killed your liquidity. So the ability for you to be able to sell the house any point in time when you want, you can't do it anymore because you're waiting for it to come back to the $1 million. So the liquidity part of your planning is gone. Second thing is that you're losing opportunity costs. So the fact that you're fucking waiting on the sidelines, waiting for your $600,000 house to reach back to $1 million, which is square one for you.
But the other thing about the reach. So the value of the house fucks with me right now because I see people like so the value is based on what people are willing to pay for it, kind of, whether we like it or not. Because even though you look at it, you're like, I don't know, the government values it at 500,000. If everyone's buying that type of house for $1 million, then technically the value is $1 million because you get $1 million for it.
Yeah.
So that's where this gray area for me is hard to understand because like, yeah, it's worth this much, but since everyone's overpaying, then they're all worth whatever everyone's overpaying to get because you're able to sell it at that price.
Well, that's it. So, look, if you go meet with a real estate agent and he's showing you or she's showing you houses and she shows you this particular house down the street and it goes for $700,000, you buy it. And then that same real estate agent takes another client out and buys the house next to you for $705,000. And then so on and so forth. Over time, what's happening is that real estate agent is not going to sell for $690,000, $700,000. They're always going to go upwards. They're not going to go downwards.
Exactly.
Right. So it doesn't necessarily mean like demand is obviously important, but it also comes into the picture of what people are willing to pay. And if the perception is there that real estate is only going up, some people will overpay and contribute to the fucking
it's going up
even more and more and more. And that's where you reach a bubble at one point where...
That's what I want to ask you. Is there really a bubble? Because I've been hearing about a bubble for 15 years, sir, and it has not popped yet.
No. Is there a bubble? I think things are pretty fucking scary, to be honest with you. If you're a young person, you're in your mid-20s and you're looking to buy a condo right now, how do you do it without your parents' help?
There you go.
Like, how do you do that? And it shouldn't be like that. And the second thing is that what about people that don't have enough money to take care of themselves? Where do they live? Do they just live off the fucking street?
That was I had a whole conversation about this yesterday. I even remember talking to people about when I was in high school, the advice was, hey, work, save up about 10, maybe if you can, $20,000 in the next couple of years, like if you're working, so you could put a down payment on a house. Bro, $20,000 now in Montreal, they'll laugh you out of the bank. It's like, that's a down payment for what? What are you buying? A shed?
That's it.
Fuck out of here.
That's it.
So I'm like, Jesus Christ, how the hell are kids ever gonna, like, especially since jobs, like the average salary hasn't gone up enough to justify this. There's no way anyone new starting out now, there's no way they're buying property unless someone gives them money.
Exactly. And there is what's happening now, what I see in my world, is that there's a massive intergenerational wealth transfer that's taking place. So the baby boomers, they're slowly dying off, or they have certain wishes. They want to see that their kids benefit from this money, so they're gifting their money in advance before they pass away. But there's an enormous amount of wealth that's sticking in that cohort, and that money's getting transferred over to the kids. The kids take that money and they go out and buy real estate
or NFTs.
But what happens when that transfer ends? Like,
where's
and the real
money
estate price,
yeah.
Exactly. Where's the support level going to be? So not only are you pushing housing prices higher and higher and higher, but you have this intergenerational wealth transfer that's taking place that's supporting those higher prices.
But that's limited. So once that stops, once that influx,
where's the new cash coming in?
What happens then? This is the big question.
Then you have a high price. You don't have enough buyers. What happens? Of course, if these people want to unload their property, turn their property into a liquid investment by selling it, they'll have to take a loss, right? They'll have to incentivize you. They say, okay, I have this $1 million house. Okay, look, if you take it off, it was $1 million last year. Obviously the market, it's a little bit choppy right now. So I'll give it to you for $750,000. There might be buyers for $750,000 for a house that once upon a time was $1 million.
And then now we'll bring the prices for the other once upon a time $1 million down because, like, well, why would I buy yours? This guy's selling for $750,000.
Because the real estate agent now that's taking that client out is going to say, hey, listen, that house just went for $750,000, and then they sell it, and then that house went for $740,000, $730,000, and then slowly the pricing comes back down. The bubble bursts without it actually without you realizing.
How far are we from this happening? Because I want to become a slumlord. I want to buy a couple of buildings, give him a gold chain, and with his fucking hair out, and watch him go collect rent every month.
I'm not sure how far we are, but if I was in my 20s and I was thinking about buying a house, I'd say, fuck it. I'm just going to rent. I'm going to find the cheapest rent and I'm going to put a shitload of money on the sidelines. So I'm going to invest. I'm going to buy stocks. I'm going to do whatever I have to do.
Make money.
I'm going to make money on the right side of my balance sheet. And on the left side, yeah, I'm burning money. I'm renting every month.
But it's an expense.
It's an expense.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what?
For my quality of life.
It's quality of life. Exactly. And then when prices come back down, you got a shitload of money in the stock market.
You could liquidate that.
You could liquidate that and use that as your down payment. But I wouldn't go in there like, oh, I have to buy a house because I need to be a fucking adult.
Yeah, you know why I don't like that?
Yeah.
There's a term that people use here, house poor.
Exactly.
I'm because I don't own a house. I don't own any, like I rent. And that always scared me, the idea of you own something, but not really. Because now you're strapped, you're all the way up to your neck.
Yeah.
Mortgage. And even though my rent is kind of, when I think about it, it's kind of high. Back in the day, it could have been a mortgage. Not anymore. Now I think it's still lower than a fucking mortgage the way the prices are. But it's just, that always scared me. Like you work your whole life, you buy something, and technically you don't own it, buddy. Now you're on the hook.
Yeah.
And now you're fucked. Because if something happens at work and you can't pay for 2 months, you lost everything that you worked for.
Yep.
That scares me.
No, it's for sure. And imagine the opportunity cost. Like you're not able to save anymore because you're like
everything's going there.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Everything's going into one idea, which is you owning a fucking house. Whereas you can go out, especially in Montreal, rent is not as bad as it is in Toronto and Vancouver, right? So if you're living in Montreal, get cheap rent and stay there, and you have a house, you have a roof over your head, right? You know what? Then you don't mind so much when food prices go up 30%. When butter cost $9 a block, when it was like $3.99 6 months ago, right?
Yeah,
like
food. People don't talk enough about this. I noticed at the grocery store, because I have to pay for that shit. God damn, there's a huge shift.
It's great. And so what is that doing? It's taking money out of the ability for you to invest in your RSPs, your TFSA, because now you got to go and buy butter at 50% higher price than it was 6 months ago. So the disposable income of people is just going down. So what do you think that's going to do to real estate prices? If people have less money and they're not able to save as much, plus the intergenerational wealth transfer is slowing down, that's the perfect storm where all of a sudden prices will have to come down eventually.
Big question about the butter and the milk.
Yeah.
Where do these cows get the audacity to charge more?
I don't know. It disgusts me.
Yeah, it disgusts me too.
Yeah.
You're a cow.
Yeah, exactly. How do you
negotiate? Who are these dumb farmers who are losing negotiations to cows? No, for people that don't know, because everything around the farm goes up.
Yeah.
So the price of everything, hay, gas, everything goes up. So you have to pay. That's how it happens, just so people are aware. Because people do get confused. Like, but it's the same product. It's in order to get that product, to create it and to bring it to you.
To bring it to market.
All the costs went up. So you have to adjust, and then everything goes. That's how it works. Just I do this because there are some people who don't get it. And they're like, how the fuck does it go up? This is all made up. That's how it goes up. It sucks. And that's why we're always interdependent. That's why a war, like with the Ukraine, that's why it affects everyone. Because like they have wheat. I think they used to be the biggest exporter of wheat on the planet as a country, as the Ukraine.
Yeah.
So we use wheat a lot. Everything starts taking a hit.
Yep.
That's how it works.
Exactly. And then the end result is you have less money to play around with. You're not going to the bar as much. You're not meeting with your friends.
Now the bar's not making enough money. Everything,
it's nasty, right? And then it could take years for that pattern to be reversed. And
how do you feel about Texas?
How do I feel about Texas?
Texas, yeah.
Like going there for a holiday or?
No, because I feel like Texas and Florida have done some things right. And I feel like they're the economies that right now are kind of sustaining themselves.
Yeah. Well, they're putting themselves ahead. I know Texas is big for Bitcoin.
Big for Bitcoin. So this is what's crazy. My whole life growing up, I was told that Texas and Florida were backwards hick villagers.
Yeah.
I've been in Texas a lot in my life now as an adult. I have friends there. I've worked there. So I know Texas pretty well. The more I'd go down to Texas, the more surprised I'd be by the opposite of that. And now I see that they're opening up for tech, tax-wise as well. You'd think that they'd be so hick that they'd be like, oh, no, we need to charge people more. We got like, no. Independent people, keep your fucking money. Yeah. We're going to make our money another way. and it's the opposite of what I was told my whole life. And it looks like they're doing it the right way. They're letting the individual build up their wealth.
Yeah.
And through their work and through their contribution to society, the government can function. Instead of the other way around, whereas here it's they milk the individual. They're like, no, whatever you did, I'm your silent partner, bro. Give me half of that.
Yeah. But what's the common theme here? They're supporting innovation.
Yeah.
Right. And so, there's obviously a shitload of other things, controversies that you can look at and you agree or disagree. But from a economic perspective, of prosperity on that, what are they doing differently? They're promoting innovation. I mean, Bitcoin just hosted the 2022. Miami hosted the 2022 Bitcoin conference, where all the major players, the influencers, Michael
call them
Saylor,
nerds around here,
the
buddy.
big nerds, they showed up. They partied in Miami.
That's so cool.
But that's it. Like Miami wants to be the digital city. So it's innovation. You can't, if you hold back innovation, it's really fucking bad. Because
that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, to a certain degree. Yeah. I mean, well, look, and that's another thing. So you have politics that holds back innovation, and when innovation is held back, it doesn't mean that it just stops. It just goes where it's enabled, right? So that's why other countries are starting to pick up the slack and look at El Salvador. El Salvador is building a whole Bitcoin city, and
the whole country is run by a street gang, though.
Well, I mean, I don't know enough about that, but they have volcanoes that are powering the mining process.
I like that.
Right?
I think that's cool as shit. However,
cool,
they got
right?
other problems in El Salvador.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
But I like. Have you ever met El Salvadorians? They're fucking cool as shit, bro.
Yeah, I've met one. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah. No, well, look, that's it. So you can't hold back innovation. Can't hold it back.
Yeah, you can't hold back innovation. That's what Texas and Florida. I like them. I like Texas and Florida.
Yeah.
I always had a dream of Quebec being that to Canada, like the innovative. But every couple of years, I get discouraged because I see that we're going backwards.
Yeah.
We're still the paper people when everyone else is digital.
Right.
Obviously, it's just metaphorically, and it bugs me. Fuck, we have everything here. We have the natural resources. We have the culture. We have the arts. This should be the hub. This should be the Miami, let's say.
But it's starting to be.
You think?
I think so. I mean, look, IBM opened up a huge plant for quantum computing in Bromont. The
plant, though, isn't what's going to help us because the culture's not changing. So all we're going to become is the China of Canada. We're just going to be the plant people work at.
Right, because you don't own the IP. You're basically just hosting
No, I don't want that. I don't want that. We've done that. I want us to be the innovative, fun place to be where the individuals can create, and the individuals can't create and live free if they're given more than half their money away to the government.
Yeah.
It's not working. We've tried that. That's feudal times. That's the lord of the land is going to take half your money or whatever. That's slavery.
Yeah.
We've done that. It doesn't work. It's not cool. People are not happy.
Yeah.
We need to move forward.
I agree. No, I totally agree.
But I can never change things because I refuse to go into politics. I can't be fighting crime my whole life and then join it.
No.
It's weird.
No, for sure.
I can't turn into the Joker after all these years of being Batman. You feel me, Poseidon? We're gonna get Lagoda fucking ban this podcast. That's what they're working on. Okay, so tell me this.
Yeah.
Digitally.
Yeah.
Trudeau has been trying to stop us from having podcasts online. What can he really do, though? I know he's trying to pass some bills to regulate YouTube, and he wants the FCC to be regulating content online, digital creators from Canada, such as myself. What can he actually do, though? How is this guy going to stop me from being on the internet? And what are my options I'm preparing here in case he does?
I don't know. I mean,
what do you know about the dark web, bro?
The dark, pretty good. Not too bad. What would the government try to stop? Are they trying to stop misinformation?
Well, they call everything misinformation.
Right.
If you mention the wheat charity scandal or if you mention him doing blackface, they're trying to say that's misinformation. That's not misinformation. That's just missed information from the regular tabloids because they didn't want to do it. So, no, it's just they want to regulate everything. So it depends on what you're talking about, sensitive topics, or they want to have the same guidelines that CBC has for TV and radio. But TV and radio, the reason why people moved away is because it's fake nonsense. It's propaganda. People want real stuff. They're tired of that bullshit.
Yeah, like swearing, for example.
Swearing is another thing.
Yeah.
Everyone swears.
Yeah.
Everyone swears. But we still live in a time where we're going to pretend that nobody actually swears in real life, and we're gonna have these fake conversations between people. And I don't mean swearing like getting really vulgar and dirty about someone's mother. No, just in general, you're gonna drop a fuck, you're gonna drop a shit, you're gonna drop a damn.
Yeah.
That's how people speak. These are sounds that we make with our mouths to express a feeling. That's all it is.
Yeah.
People overthink it.
Totally.
So they use that as an excuse, but that's not the real excuse. It's the content that they want to manage. That's what worries me. So they were trying to pass bills a little earlier on in the year. It got kiboshed when it reached the Senate. Now they're trying to bring him back in another form in different bills, but it's all to regulate the internet and creators here in Canada, which is fucking scary because now we're moving backwards. Now we're censoring individuals, so they want to treat us like we're part of the government.
Right.
Because let's say the CBC is part of the government, whether people like it or not. That's the truth. That's where they get all their funding. It's not a profitable organization, the CBC. The CBC only has money that the government gives it. If the government would pull the plug, the CBC wouldn't exist because it's bullshit. Nobody likes it. So they're not going to make enough money off viewers. So they want to regulate us the way they do the CBC. What kind of content is that? You can't say that. No, this goes against the government. No. Which to me is crazy.
It's censorship.
It'll handicap all Canadian creators.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's just going to encourage decentralized a platform for you.
What are my options? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. So there are tons of protocol. There's 10,000 different types of protocols on the, like cryptocurrencies, blockchain, smart applications that are being created for that reason, where you get yourself in a corner where you have no choice. The government's trying to tell you what you can listen to and what you can say. Well, then the only thing that's going to stop you is, can you get that network effect in the decentralized version of what you're trying to do?
So let's say if I have an internet connection.
Yeah.
But being that I'm here and I'm Pantelis, they're like, this guy keeps uploading videos to YouTube and he talks a lot of shit. He can no longer access YouTube, let's say. It's like can my internet service provider stop me from accessing certain sites?
I think we're really far away from that. I mean, I don't know.
I don't mean legally.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, can they do it? Do they possess that kind of functionality?
If they were able to reach out to, let's say, Bell's your internet provider and say, okay.
They're not, but let's say they were.
I think they could probably turn your internet down. I mean, I don't know enough about that
So
part.
then what's my out?
What's your out?
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
You're stuck.
But that's the problem with what scares the shit out of me with all this digital stuff.
Yeah. Well, okay, so take away digital. How would you
But that's what I'm asking you, right?
Yeah.
So we have to build, I think we can't build a digital world where the foundation of it is so volatile and controlled physically by people that we don't trust.
Right.
I think we need to start doubling down and create the physical backup that we, the people that would be on it, would control, so that there's no fuckery afoot. You feel me?
You are you're the Bitcoin spokesperson. That's Bitcoin.
Invite me to the next conference, bitches.
That's it. You're there. That's everything you want is decentralized, no government or one authority controlling the shots. It's controlled by the network.
In order for me to access the network, I need to get on the internet. And I am at the mercy of these conglomerates. We need to create our own internet.
So that's what you were talking about, the dark web,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Is there internet connections on a decentralized type of platform?
I don't know.
I don't know by names, but I would bet a good chunk of money that there's already something up and coming.
We got to figure that out because the government could just say, everyone's using Bitcoin, shut down the internet for a year. Fuck these people. And then what? We have no money? No. We have no internet? No.
Yeah.
We need a backup plan. Fuck these people.
That's really extreme censorship. I hope it doesn't get to that point.
I hope it doesn't get that too, but I prepare for the extremes, sir.
Right, exactly.
I'm the wartime comedian. I'm preparing for war.
You got the cans of soup in downstairs, huh?
No, I'm ill prepared.
Yeah.
I'm a visionary, but I don't prepare well.
Yeah.
What do you want, Poseidon?
But the infrastructure is owned by, let's say, Bell.
Yeah.
So even if there are multiple companies that do provide internet, we're still fucked.
But that's why we need to build up. That's what I'm saying. Physically, we need a Musk or someone rich that is not Bezos, because Bezos is all for conformity. We need someone like that to invest in, to have the other option. To be like, no, you can't monopolize everything. Because right now, it is all monopolized. If governments around the world talk together and decide, talk to your ISPs, this and that, this is now blocked from everywhere.
Yeah.
They could, in a day, change the world in the wrong way, in the bad way.
If it makes you feel any better, I have I'm part of,
the Illuminati?
Reddit groups and what's that?
The Illuminati?
Yeah, exactly.
That would have made me feel better.
Like I have a pretty big network of people that would know this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No one's really talking about that kind of extreme.
You should mention it, and then they're going to be like, what visionary came up with that?
Yeah.
And send him a photo.
Because if it does happen one day and we're all caught off guard, then that's pretty scary shit. But
So never get caught off guard.
yeah, that's it.
That's my motto.
But censorship is should not be controlled by one person. I mean, unless you're going out there and you're saying, okay, fucking, I want, like it's extreme, right?
But here's the problem I have with that. If it is extreme,
Yeah.
trust me, it works itself out. So you don't need if you're in a supermarket
Okay.
or a mall, because there's different people, and you're walking a mall and you're dropping the N-word and you're yelling, you're like, we gotta kill all these Greeks. There's too many. We gotta gas them. Society
We'll protect
will
you.
not wait for someone to be like, yeah, that's weird. People are gonna get the fuck out of here. Society will determine we don't want this here. You get it? You don't need for the only thing that happens in those cases, if the government steps in and says no, we dictate that, then you who says this is an ugly store, then you're under the same kind of banner. You get it? Like, oh, that might be offensive to the store.
Yeah.
You don't need. Society will dictate it when it's extreme.
Right.
Kind of like when I was looking for an apartment a few years ago, and the guy told me there's no criminal activity allowed in here. He's like, you don't have to tell me that. It's called criminal activity. Society already decided criminal activity is not. You don't have to. Of course, that's why it's called criminal activity.
Right.
You don't have to tell me. It's taking care of itself. Like, of course, I can't do crimes in here.
Yeah.
It's in a fucking apartment I'm renting. You dipshit. If you hadn't told me, what do you think? I'm going to start a meth lab. So when they come to the extreme ideas and they use that as an excuse, they go, well, you don't want us censoring the internet?
Right.
What if someone out there is tweeting at you and tells you they want to kill you? Well, either you could censor and go find him and get him off, or I can block him.
Right.
I can take care of it myself on a
You
case by
control
case.
it.
I can control. I don't need you to be like, is that too offensive for him? He might not want people calling him fat. Get rid of that.
Now you're talking about Web 3.0.
Let's talk.
Yeah, so that's Web 3.0, where you own your identity. Like right now, we're so used to the fact of somebody else giving us, the government gives us our driver's license or Medicare card.
Yeah.
And that's, okay, we're waiting for them to give us our identity. Shouldn't you own your identity? It's you, right? Shouldn't you have a digital, a wallet where you store your identity, where you store your methods of payments, where you store your investments? It's basically you control it. You store your information. Do you want your information? Do you want to pull back a tweet that you put? Well, you should have the choice to be able to pull that tweet back.
Interesting.
Right? Like where you own that. Now, take it one step further. Let's say, for example, you put something out there and it goes viral on Twitter.
It happened.
Right? So okay.
I've had a couple of viral tweets, maybe
Nice.
3 in my lifetime. Yeah.
Okay. So did you participate in the ad revenue sharing that took place? Right?
Zero.
So if you contributed to the network in creative engagement with and created a community and build up that audience, shouldn't you be part of that profit sharing?
I guess, but my only argument would be like, all right, when I initially signed up to Twitter, I knew what I was getting. I wasn't promised part of I was just promised, here's a platform that's open, you can promote your shit.
Yeah.
So I don't like the going after the fact, like, well, you made money off that tweet. Yeah, but I never agreed to make, you get it? Like,
Totally.
when my tweets don't do well, I don't have to pay them.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't kick you off.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. They don't kick me off because
Yeah.
it didn't. So that's the gray area. Though I do like the idea of what you said of controlling your identity. So let's say if, I don't know, I tweet something like, I hate the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Which I don't. I love the Spider-Man movie. I'm just saying, I tweet that. And then a year later, I'm like, fuck, I actually started thinking about it. That was a good movie. I don't want that out there anymore. People are going to think I don't like Spider-Man. I fucking love Spider-Man.
Exactly.
I should be in charge of getting rid of that.
Right.
I feel you.
Except now in Web 2.0, you might have started off as a tweet. Someone might have took a screenshot of that, created a JPEG of it.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden there's fucking multiple versions of your opinion floating around the internet, which you have no control over, except when you go to apply for a job, let's say, and all of a sudden your posts
What's your
are
problem
now,
with Tobey Maguire, sir?
Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Right?
You want to work at Toby and Brothers, but you don't like Tobey Maguire?
Toby knows what you said about him.
Fuck
right?
out of here.
Exactly. So you should have the ability to pull the plug on
Is that possible?
With Web 3.0, it seems to be, yeah. Being able to, I mean, that's where it's going. Controlling your data, controlling your digital self. And that's why the metaverse, Web 3.0, cryptocurrency, blockchain, artificial intelligence, all of that although they look like siloed technologies, they actually intertwine very nicely with each other. And
So how would that work? Let's say I've had a meme that was created of me 10 years ago.
yeah,
And it's been making the rounds. It's everywhere. And it's like people like to use it as a response. Like, this is a good gift. This is my meme. How the hell would I get rid of that?
you can't.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't get rid of it. You can't, because it's floating around. There's no laws protecting you. Like, you know, if I have a picture of you, let's say you send a dick pic,
Yeah.
right? Not to me, because you've never done that, but let's say
Not yet, yeah.
exactly. After the show, what the fuck is this?
Never even my dicks.
So what you do to all guests. So
Why does he have 3 dicks?
exactly. So if you send that picture to me, I have a copy of it. You have a copy of it.
That's 2 photos.
That's 2 photos. Now I send it to another buddy of mine, and I send a buddy, and then next thing you know, there's millions of copies. How do you control that shit?
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. With Web 3.0,
How do you control on Web 3.0?
you own it. You put it on. Look, you can't stop the fact of somebody taking a screenshot on a computer, even if it's Web 8.0, right? If someone takes a screenshot and they have a picture,
That's their screenshot.
that's their screenshot, right? You're not going to fix that problem. But in terms of controlling it better and having more control than what we have now, having ownership over your data is key.
But how do you get more, like, what's the more control aspect of it? So,
So-
let's say we're on Web 3.0.
Yeah.
I take a photo of this console here, and I send it to you. Now you have a photo of this console. You send it to 10 more people. Then I decide, you know what? I don't want that photo
Floating
being out.
around.
Yeah. I could delete my photo, but you still have yours.
Yeah, exactly.
So what changed?
So the only thing is that I can't do anything with it. I can't monetize it. So I can create a meme around it and just like throw it out there, and then
So nothing changed.
from that point of view, no. But if you're from that point of view, no. But if you go and sign up to Twitter 3.0, let's say, and instead of signing up to the terms and conditions where you're giving up your data and you're saying, you know, fuck, you don't own any of this shit anymore, the terms and conditions are very simple. You have to connect your digital wallet to Twitter to use Twitter, where you control the data on your digital wallet. So now you want to leave Twitter, you want to take everything back that
All your
you've ever
tweets.
put. It's not a question of waiting for them to approve your removal. It's basically your digital wallet. So you just pull the plug. You control that information. So now if somebody took pictures of all your posts, well, you can't control that. That's like, but from a monetary perspective, what about a musician or an artist that creates a song, and that song just basically gets blown, like it's on YouTube, it's on all these other channels.
They're not making money.
And they're the last one to make $1, right?
Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm a digital creator. We're always the last ones to make money. Yeah.
Right. So, but if you own that, you won't in Web 3.0, you won't even be able to play that song unless you buy a copy of it in some sort of, like you're renting it out in some sort of fashion. So the artist maintains control and ownership over their data, over their proprietary rights. So you could monetize things. Like all of a sudden an artist is worth way more. Like artists, when they put something out there, yes, it's their passion and they're doing this, but they should be properly compensated for.
Of course,
for
or else
what
they're
they
never
do.
going to be able to do it again.
Exactly. Yeah. So Web 3.0 is about ownership of data, ownership of identity, removing the intermediaries, having transparency. So there's all the information is eligible on a blockchain. You go to buy a car. Like imagine just being able to go to a dealership. Like this might be a little bit far-fetched, but maybe it isn't. You walk onto some dealership right now. You walk into whatever, and the first thing that's going to happen is a sales rep hits you up right away, right? Do you want to test drive the car? Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead. So you test drive the car. Great. Yeah, I like it. You buy it. So the first thing that has to happen is the dealership has to sell you the car. Second thing, before they can sell it to you, you need to be able to be approved for the purchase.
Right.
So the financing has to come into the fact. Then you have to trust the fact that you're buying a brand new car when they're saying that you're buying a brand new car. Then you have to trust the fact that the mileage is, and all the information. Exactly. The brake pads weren't fucking blowing up to shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, would you know the difference between an 80% used brake pad and a 90% brake pad?
I can't tell the difference between a car and a bike.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Blockchain solves all that. And everything is transparent. Anything on that blockchain cannot be corrupted in any way. So in terms of you going out and buying that car, you can trust that what you're buying is more sound. And then when it comes to all these intermediaries that are involved in the transaction process, what could end up happening is you might one day walk into a lot. There's no sales rep. There's no financing. Why? Because you control.
Walk out with the car.
You walk out.
I like where this is going.
Right? And not only do you walk out with the car, your license plate is automatically paid because it's on the blockchain. It's all interconnected. The insurance is already there. Within 30 minutes, you verified the purchase. You know that the information about the car is accurate. Physically, the car looks great. So
you know what
walk
scares
on.
me about this?
There's no sales rep.
No, that's fine. That's amazing. But what scares me about this is, doesn't that mean that we can just deperson someone instantly? You shut down their account and now they can't do anything.
Well, what you do is anything inefficient becomes irrelevant. And when it becomes irrelevant...
Like let's say right now you have your wallet, you have your ID, you have everything in that digital space, right?
Yeah.
This is you. Michael exists here. I have all his stuff. He can go buy and sell. If I shut that aspect of it down, what are you going to do? You can't go anywhere.
But if it's decentralized, you can shut it down on this computer, but you have to go and shut it down on the millions other computer that's across the world.
I'm saying, who would be in charge of this?
That's the beauty of a decentralized network, is that no one person is in charge of it.
So no one person can go in and deperson you.
Nope.
Interesting.
Nope. You can, there's situations where you can, there's the 51% attack, where if you attacked 51% of the computers that are on the network all at the same time, you could corrupt the network, right? Like if there was more corrupted computers than uncorrupted computers, and technically you can do that. But excuse me, as Bitcoin grows, and there's more miners, or there's more
computers out there.
More computers.
Harder to do.
Or not just Bitcoin, any decentralized platform, the more computers that are out there, the more copies there are of the ledger of the data that we're talking about, the less corruption, the less
likelihood of that happening. What if it was a joint attack? What if it was China, there's 1 billion people, India, another 1 billion people, and Russia together decide, let's fuck some shit up?
Well, if you look at the decentralized map, like of Bitcoin, for example, yes, there's some miners in China, but they're all over the world.
There's a lot of miners in China.
But they're all over the world, right? So you can't just, it's, even if Russia and China got together and said,
Bill Gates was apparently banging some of them. Yeah.
No
On
way.
an island, yeah.
On an island?
Yeah.
Fucking Bill Gates.
Apparently, though. These are all alleged. We don't know why he flew there. We're just assuming he was banging miners.
And then he divorced they got divorced afterwards?
Yeah, they got divorced afterwards. I don't think it was related. I think she knew he was flying down there.
Yeah.
I don't think it was related to that. I think it's just, she's a single lady, one of the rich people on the planet now. She's like, fuck this nerd.
Yeah. Did you see the Bill Gates on Netflix?
No, what do you do on Netflix?
It was like a 3-episode series where he goes out and he locks himself in like a cottage, like a remote area, and he just reads like 8 books and makes us all look like idiots.
No, I don't like this guy. I don't like him. I don't like his attitude, and I don't trust him. Anyone that was hanging out that much with Epstein, hanging out at that island where many miners were, I don't like it. I don't appreciate that type of shit.
Yeah.
And also he's fucking weird to begin with. He talks. He thinks he's a scientist, he's a doctor. He's none of those things. I don't know why we accept that. He's just some nerd that has a company. I don't know why we're accepting that. Yeah, this guy should be in charge of dictating world health. That's fucking crazy to me, just because he has money.
Yeah,
we're a dumb society. We give people with money way too much control over our opinions and over our lives.
Right.
And we negate science. So no, I don't like. And also his excuse, like him and a lot of people that were flying there were like, well, I was using his plane because planes are expensive. I don't have a plane. Bro, you're Bill fucking Gates. Is this the card you're gonna fucking play right now? Clearly you're hiding something.
Yeah.
Like talk to someone to make up a better excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have said, I don't know, we're homies. This guy's got great investing advice. That's way more credible than, well, how am I going to get on a plane?
Yeah. No, totally.
You could buy the airport. How's that? How's that for an idea, Bill? You dipshit.
If one guy bought an entire company called Twitter, you can do pretty much.
Yeah.
Billionaires can do a lot, right?
Yeah. Look, he paid $44 billion for that. I've been giving away my tweets for free, so he made off well.
Yeah, and he's going to take the company private, and
it technically already was private. People say it wasn't, but it was because it was run like one person was dictating everything. When
Jack Dorsey?
I don't think he did it on purpose, but the way it was running there internally, when you could only really promote one side of the argument, one set of ideas, then technically it's not a public company because you're moving toward one person's, or let's say the 10 people that were running the major decisions in there, their sensibilities. That's not what it was meant to be in the first place. People thought that now that he bought it, it's going to turn into like, oh, everyone's going to drop the N-bomb, this and that. It's not an Xbox Live chat room. you could still drop the N-bomb. That's what I keep telling you, is you could still do all that stuff now in the future. You can always do that. But trust me, society is going to handle you.
Apart.
It's going to handle you.
Yeah.
Whether I don't need to, if I'm in a grocery store and some girl's getting the shit kicked out of her, I don't need to be like, I wonder if that's legal.
Exactly.
Maybe. I don't need, I know that, whoa, this is fucking wrong. Let me, society, whether you like it or not, is going to react to what's happening. No one's going to be like, I'm in a store, they're pouring gasoline, they're setting it on fire. I should wait here because no one told me to leave. Or no, you don't need that.
No.
You know that you got to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Or you know that you got to stop it.
Yeah.
Is that me or you? Poseidon, is that me or you? Oh, that's you. Who is that?
Is that me?
That might be you.
Shit.
It's okay. It's okay. No, you don't have to. It'll turn off by itself. I was just wondering who that was.
I thought I put it on silent.
Oh, don't you worry, bro. It happens all the time. So yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like they forget to like, what if now that there's no police, what if, people start raping each other and then people accept that? No one's ever going to accept that.
No.
No one's ever going to accept that in society. You don't need to be told that something's bad. You know that most of the shit's bad. You get it? That's why I don't understand. They think that it'll make things better. It won't. Look at chat rooms. Poseidon, you play video games online all the time.
Yes, I do.
There's rules, right, about like treating people with respect?
There isn't.
No, I mean there's when you sign up, there's rules. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Has it stopped anyone from calling you
Never.
the N-word repeatedly?
Never.
It doesn't. It doesn't
But
change
you'll get
anything.
eaten alive if you do, right? Like you're
No. Sometimes people are like you do a bit, like you're like, bro, what are you talking about?
But it's always the 14-year-olds that really go off. Like they love saying that word.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
It just.
It's true. The 14-year-olds, my buddy was playing NHL. I think it was like 15. This was like 6 or 7, no, like 8 years ago. Anyway, so he's online. He's like, I don't know. He's at the time, he's like 27 years old and he's playing with a 14-year-old. And after the 14-year-old beat him 8-0, you just right on the mic. He just says, back to the drawing board, cocksucker. Like fucking these
A
people.
14-year-old, I like it. I like that.
Like that's how you talk, man.
You know what? I respect that more than just dropping the N-bomb on your boy.
Yeah, exactly, right?
it
So
was-
he was like, "What? You want to kill?" But yeah, no.
I'm just saying, in society, I hate people waiting for someone to tell them what to think and what to believe. I use the analogy of the mall because I feel like that's where you get the most diverse set of people in different circumstances.
Right.
And that's where it's like, dudes, if the place is on fire, you know you need to leave. Do you need someone to tell you, yeah, you should walk out? If you need that, you're an imbecile. You shouldn't be in society. You have to be self-aware and self-sufficient enough to take care of your fucking shit.
Yeah.
If I see like I said, if I see someone in the street, even if a cop grabs an old lady, starts beating her with a nightstick, I don't have to be like, well, that's the police, so it must be right. I know it's not right. I gotta step in there. It's like, what the fuck's going on, bro? That's an old lady. What are you doing beating her with a nightstick in the face?
Your values, your beliefs kick in, and then you're
Yeah,
like,
I don't need you to. I don't need to be the. Well, it's a cop, so
Right.
it must be legal. No, that's insane.
But what happens when society, like that works when society is like there's an underlying goodness to it, right?
Yeah,
What happens? You enter a society where it's the opposite, where the norm is watch that old lady get fucking beaten up, watch that player on the video game get called the N-word, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where, and there are pockets in the world that exist like
there are
that, right?
pockets that exist, and I think we're contributing to it because instead of allowing society to allow its value and its values to spread,
Yeah.
we keep stopping our own values or whatever your value is. You're like, I have to put because the government says that should be the value, so I got to go with the trend. No, why are we putting an end? Human nature, though we are dumb, there's a lot of dummies out there. Human nature has that social aspect to it. They want to help. You know what I mean? They want to do the right thing. And now it's like, if you say the right thing or if it goes against the norm, that's a problem. It should never be a problem.
Yeah.
The right should always take over. Like, again, the cop situation is a great example. Most cops aren't going to fucking do this. They're not all animals. But
Yeah.
I'm saying, imagine a cop gets into an argument with an old lady for something.
Right.
And starts beating the shit out of her.
Right.
We should, as society, not even have to think twice. Grab the guy. Be like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop him.
Yeah.
However, the way things are built, you're going to be like, oh, if I stop the cop, there's going to be consequence against me. I'm going to get in trouble when, God, how are you going to get, he's doing the wrong thing. But there's a chance, the way society is now, that because of that position, being the police officer, the landlord's fucking goons,
Yeah.
there's a chance that they win in court. There's a chance that you turn into the bad guy, even though all you're trying to do is save someone's life.
Right.
That's scary. And that's why I don't like that whole, we have to wait for them to dictate. What's right is right, and we should be willing to be like, look, if something's correct, even if it went against our norms, we have to support that. We have to support that. If something's, we still have a situation here in Canada where if you break into my house and you're trying to kill me and my family, there's a chance if I defend myself too much that I go to jail.
Right.
Which is insane. How is that right? I didn't put myself in that position. He put me in that position. He came into my house.
How do I know he's not going to go after my kids? And
he pulled out a gun in my house.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if I have to fight with him and he ends up dying, there's a chance that I get sued from his family. Are we fucking crazy? Well, because you're not allowed to kill people. I get it. I didn't actively go out to kill him.
No, and you were sitting in your house. You didn't ask them to come into your property.
That's what I'm saying. So there's things like that bother me. I hate the whole, well, the law was, and no, guys, we have to go with what's right.
Right.
What's right. Sometimes the law doesn't take into account specific situations. Out of the norm.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, no. Look, if you sleep well at night because you have certain values, beliefs, and you're gonna like
good pillow helps.
A good pillow too, right? And you have like that. You carry that with you everywhere you go. Well, other people have their views as well, and as long as there's there's a collaboration that takes place. Like people see the woman getting beaten by the cop. And if they have the same values and beliefs as you, they're gonna step it up, and then you get that.
How it should be,
and then. Bringing it back to digital here, you get that network effect of everyone thinking the way you think. And now,
well, can I tell you something? I'll give you an example how this works when one side is dictating. So on Twitter a while ago, he remembers this, that the dictator of Turkey, Erdogan, he had said some crazy ass shit. This guy is very aggressive. And I tweeted at him. I called him a bitch, something like that. My account got suspended. Okay, I had my account suspended for a couple of days. I was like, what the fuck? But then another guy who didn't like what I said, who was, I don't know where he was from. He had like different flags in there. He was an Islamic extremist who talked about cutting my head off and the rest of the Greeks and shit like that. His account was just fine. Nothing would happen to his account. It's like, hold on a second. Are we scared to offend him because he's putting his religion in his bio, but he could threaten my life and that's cool? But me calling a guy who was talking shit about a genocide, I called him a bitch, but he's a political leader, so I get suspended. I go, this is crazy. It's fucking crazy, but they have rules. They follow German law. You can't talk shit about politicians. It's like, guys, you're not applying the rules properly. So I see shit like that happen, and that's why I say, let society, let the goodness in people be like kind of the measuring stick,
right,
and not the sensibility of offending an elite person or offending a minority or offending guys. We have to do what's right.
Yeah,
we can't accept shit like this. That's why I fall into this. That's what I'm saying. I don't like it when shit like that. That's why Twitter bothered me a lot. Up. Super fucked up.
Yeah.
Chrissy Mayer had got in trouble once because she shared an account that was showing kid stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And she's like, "What the fuck is this? Twitter, get rid of it." She got suspended, but that account was fine. Yeah.
You're joking.
No, I remember this. This is the whole thing. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah.
I don't think she's a comedian. I don't think many people realize that. Like, they see Twitter, they're like, oh, okay, crazy shit goes up on there.
Oh, crazy shit. I saw his feed yesterday. Shit. His feed had some. He's like, bro, look at my feed, and I was like, god damn, that's some crazy shit. Yeah. There's a lot of ejaculate in his feed. Yeah, a lot of cocks in his feed.
No ejaculate.
It was ejaculate.
Okay, there was a little bit of ejaculate.
Yeah.
Can I describe it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Look, it was basically news stories, memes,
cocks and vaginas,
ass and tits, and then a little, just a very little porn.
There was a lot of penetration, bro. What are you talking about?
It was one video, just one video.
You did that on Twitter?
No. He's scrolling through his news feed, so he gets like the Rona is on the rise. No. Cocks and vaginas. No. Then next is like, yo, the new video game is out, and then come on face. Like this is all in the same feed. This is him scrolling. Yeah.
Yeah, I have an insane feed.
He's like, bro, look at my feed. I go, what the fuck, bro? How is this on the same platform? This is amazing.
This is there's
it's the future.
That's why Twitter's awesome.
Yeah. Well, the algorithm.
You just have to be careful not to like anything.
Because then it'll show up in my feed.
Yeah, exactly.
Poseidon like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like him.
Yeah.
It's definitely him. So, Michael, where do you want people to follow you?
Yeah, 3economics.io.
Okay.
So it's Yeah. So in case you're wondering how to spell Threeconomics, it's pretty easy. Economics, remove the E, put the 3 there. And
Links are already in the description. That's how I play my shit. It makes it so much easier.
Boom. Yeah. So
I don't know why people don't put links in the description when they're talking about stuff.
Yeah, perfect. That's good. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, it's Threeconomics. Yeah, you could follow us there, join our community. Look, we're just growing this stuff. The last guest I told them, she asked before she came on, she's like, how many subscribers do you have on YouTube?
We just started.
We just started. I said 25 subscribers today, 25 million tomorrow. Am I right? And she didn't answer back, but it's okay.
It's like I'm leaving.
Yeah, so we just started the project, so don't get freaked out by the low count. But
no, people used to care. Now it's more of if I like it, I'm going to it.
Yeah, and that's what we're getting. And a lot of people are watching the videos, but they're not actually subscribing. So
well, that's with everything.
Yeah, right.
So I've been guilty of that too. There's videos that recently, like, oh yeah, creators that I watch all the time on YouTube,
right?
That I just assume because they're in my feed, and then sometimes I'll notice on the video it says subscribe and it's red. I was like, oh fuck, I didn't subscribe to this. I've been watching for 6 months.
Exactly.
You don't do it on purpose.
Exactly,
it's just,
right? And I'm guilty of that too. So
yeah, I do too.
So Threeconomics, follow us, join our community. We're gonna follow disruptive tech. We're gonna fuck shit up, and we're gonna learn about it and talk about it.
Yeah, if you don't want to be in the dark like me and you actually want to learn shit, follow Threeconomics. Links are in the description. Thank you, Michael, for coming out.
Thanks for having me, man.
We've built this prison cell 'cause we can't trust ourselves. Critically shamed.